I Say More, episode 31. I am your co-host. I am one of your hosts, Giuseppe. Joined by my co-host, Terrance.
Yes, sir.
I may or may not edit that. We'll find out later. Terrance, episode 31, and you are 31. So
31.
So this is, last week was my episode. This is yours.
Yes. How
you feeling, man?
Feels good. Feels good to do this for 31 episodes, man.
31 weeks.
31 weeks. It feels honestly, it feels great.
We've been doing this in January, man. It's pretty impressive.
It's dope, man. It's dope. When you really look at something that we started a couple years ago and came back, and like it's just more so about the consistency, and just trying to stay committed and bring the best education / entertainment to the people, to the world, internationally known, locally respected.
Love it. I love that first. Terrance, as we said last week, pandemic is now roaring again. So it's pandemic day 524.
Yikes.
I mean, Terrance, we were children when this pandemic started.
Yikes.
And we're basically almost in old age at this point.
This is actually crazy.
Yeah, like we said last week, man, get vaccinated. Me and Terrance both
PSA,
got it.
Joe.
Yeah. I mean, it just sucks, man. Jobs are coming back. People are going back out there. I've been to the movie. I've talked about both my movie going experiences on the show for various reasons. It's great, but the pandemic numbers are getting back to where they were in January, which were bad. And so it's are we have to close more stuff? I'm supposed to be going to school in a couple of weeks. Are we going to be having school? Are we going to be going online?
And then the thing about it, as the cold weather comes back around, it just gives it more strength, as people start getting sick from common colds and flu.
I think it's especially bad because when the vaccine started to go out in January, it was all right, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And then by the time we got to March and it really started to go up, and I was all right, the cases starts to go down. By the time we got into May, it was I think we're out of the worst of it. I think it might not be done, but cases are super low, vaccines are up. This is great. And then because everyone thought that, the vaccinations just fucking plummeted. And now cases have gone back up because no one can see these things through. And it's damn, I don't want to go back, Terrance. I don't want to go back to how it was 6 months ago. I want to continue being able to go out and see people and go out to eat and all that stuff,
No, for sure. And less restrictions on damn near everything.
I mean, aren't you sick of the restrictions? Aren't you just
I'm super. You're unsure. You're just literally unsure about how to even go into a place anymore.
There's this, my friend works at this restaurant downtown, Veggie Grill. It's a really good restaurant. I've been there a couple times because I'll go there, I'll eat when he gets off and we'll hang out and then we'll do something, which has been cool. But I wear my mask. Then when I go in, I actually take it off when I'm eating. But then when someone walks by, you get a little nervous. It's just not comfortable. I understand I have the vaccine, but so many people don't, I just want to go back to 2019 and before. But anyway, Terrance, pandemic, we're not going to bring the show down with the pandemic. People want to not pay attention to that. So let's do our favorite intro to the show, our Black Excellence shout out of the week.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black.
Yeah.
Here it goes. Burr.
So our Black Excellence can't stop, won't stop shout out of the week goes out to the legendary, the one and only
Chris Morgan,
Mr. Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac.
Mr. Bernie Mac.
And he was a special one, wasn't he?
Wasn't he? You really, man, somebody that just
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B. That was from Transformers, man. He's this really small part in that film, but he was
and that's what
I had a running joke with a friend of mine about that.
Taking moments and just literally becoming the life of it, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you have if you're a small part in a film like that, but people fucking remember that says who you are as an actor.
It didn't matter. The Players Club was dope. And I brought up Bernie Mac this week because
his show was funny too.
No, the Bernie Mac show was great.
Show.
Bernie Mac show was great. But I brought him up because I'm on the Fire Stick and they just was strolling across Soul Man. And I was like, damn, Bernie Mac and Samuel L. Jackson did a movie together.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it. I was like, damn.
I don't know if I've ever seen all of it. I
Soul
think I've seen
Man?
parts of it.
It was good, man. They did a really good job together.
That was one of his last film. That's right. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think I've seen like bits of it like on TV or whatever. I don't think I just like sat down. Like it's like the Bernie Mac show. I would love to like sit down and watch the whole thing because I've seen a bunch of those episodes, but never really like
they did a really good job. With
he's in the Ocean's movies.
The Ocean's movie was dope.
You've seen Ocean's 11, the first one,
like
right?
That. Of course.
Yo, that scene with him and Matt Damon, he's like cracker. What? Black man trying to make it here, try to cut me off the knees. And he's like, sir, you of course. And he chases him around the room.
And one of my favorite
so
Bernie Mac moments. So I went to see Kings of Comedy at an age where I was not supposed to see it. My mother and father.
He's a comedy man.
My mother and father took us to see Kings of Comedy. I remember falling asleep in the movie theater after the Bernie Mac part.
Yeah, is all I cared about.
After the Bernie Mac, I didn't even know who he was at the time.
Right.
I didn't know who he was, but one of my favorite jokes that he ever did was when he was talking about his sister kids, his sister kids, and he's talking about how he was watching them, which was actually what the Bernie Mac show was based upon, was that joke that he did about his sister kids, and he was talking about how he had to take over and watch the sister's kids and everything like that.
Is that what the show's about?
Yeah, how he's watching his sister's kids from Chicago. And
man, it's been a while. I always thought they were his kids, I guess, but like I said, I haven't seen. Like, I would have watched that show in like 2006, 7, 8. So like I couldn't tell you the exact the plot, but that's so funny. That's how the show started.
It started based upon that joke. It was one of the best jokes he did. You know, he was like, he woke up in the middle of the night and it's freaking the little boy walking around the house, and he's like, "What you doing walking around the house?" And he's like, "I'm going downstairs to get some milk and cookies." He's like, "What? Why are you talking like that?" He said, "You're gonna get some what? Some milk and cookies." He said, "Take your ass upstairs." He said, "I'll listen to him go upstairs." So he go and tell the other one, him downstairs. He's like, I kicked in the door. He was like, "Him who? This is my house." Well, Bernie Mac, man, I miss this guy, man. I can't imagine what this stupid world in society would do to somebody who
died so young, man.
Super,
I wish he was still around now, man.
Not even that, man. Just he didn't care. And when I say he didn't care, it's like he had a filter, but it was more like, I'm gonna get these jokes off, and they just jokes. They're just jokes.
Which people need to understand.
It's just jokes, and you know, the society that we live in now, the cancer culture that we live in now, you know, you can't take a joke. Everything is too serious. It's just like, oh man, you know what? He was too good, and I don't know what would have happened during this time, but shout outs to Bernie Mac.
I think it would have been good if he, obviously it would have been great if he was still alive. I feel like he would have been one of those people who like would make you feel good, you know, and like he'd be doing, I don't know what he'd be, but that's the thing, like didn't do that many movies really, but like there's so many memorable, like the Ocean's 13.
He was starting to rack up for the Bernie Mac show. He was starting to rack up.
That's still like that show is great. The Ocean's trilogy, like it's, you know, a bunch of people. You ever seen Bad Santa?
Yeah.
He's
I didn't even remember he was in that.
He's like the manager or whatever. Like he's funny as hell in that movie too. Like that's a great movie. That first one, I haven't seen the second one, but that first one's a very good movie. Guess Who? You ever seen Guess Who? Is like surprisingly
Guess
funny.
Who I saw with Ashton Kutcher, right?
Yeah.
I do.
It's one of those films that like it's kind of dumb, but like it's just kind of funny. You know, like there's the part like where Ashton Kutcher's like, what are the three things? And this is not a joke I made. This is a joke in the show. He in the movie, he's like, and they're making like black jokes, you know, and they're all like laughing. He's like, what are the three things a black man can't get? And he's like, a black eye, a fat lip, and a job. And they just do not laugh at all. And he's like, oh, you know, like took it too far. Oh man,
it's actually funny. Listen, I'm one of those people that loves a good race joke. I'm one of those people. Like I don't really be too sensitive. But if it's a good race joke, I'm okay with it. I think Bill Burr does like black people jokes sometimes or whatever, as long as it's good and in good taste. You know, like sometimes it'd be like, oh, he's actually right. Like it's just true. It's funny.
That's the thing, Terrance. That's a great point. I think that's important. Like I have a friend who used to, like a year ago when we were talking through the pandemic, he would kind of like every once, like, I'd bring up food. I'd be like, oh, I'm making some mac and cheese. And they'd be like, well, it's not really mac and cheese though, is because you're vegan. So it's just like call it what it is, like a fake cheese substitute. And he kept on saying that over and over. And it's like, eventually I got kind of mad at him. I got maybe a little more mad, but I was like, listen, man, I'm like, if you want to make fun of me for being vegan, do it. But make fun of me. Don't just keep repeating that I'm not really eating cheese or chicken and it's a substitute. Like, that's not even common. That's just you pointing something out. But like it's just lame, like, that goes for anything. Like if you're gonna make fun, like South Park, they make fun of everything and they're funny.
Everything.
They don't stick to
Family
they make fun of
too.
If you're gonna do that, make it funny. Because if you're not, then it's like, well, you're being, I don't want to say racist, but you're going like saying something against a race and you're just lame. It's almost more offensive than because you're not funny. Like, come on. I always remember though, Transformers. I'll go Bobby B, baby. I'll go Bobby B. such a goofy part. Shout out to you, Bernie Mac. You've taken from us way too young.
Absolutely.
Terrance, I want to talk about well, actually, before we get to a serious topic, I have a quick thing. If you could make a law, like a really serious law but a really serious law for a small thing, what would you do? Like, for instance, I would say one of the laws would be like 30 days in jail if you play loud music anywhere in the public, like on a train, in a park, places where like people are just don't want to hear your shit. 30 days in prison.
30 days is serious.
That would stop everybody. Terrance. No one would do it. If you could go in jail for 30 days for that, everyone would stop.
30 days is way too serious.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, whatever the rule is, but like, are there anything like that where you're like, I wish this were outlawed, like really seriously outlawed?
I would say stupid drivers. Like, I feel like you shouldn't just get a ticket for
stupid things. Like, what's the stupid thing?
No, stupid drivers.
Like, I know, but like, what do you like?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
officer self-hatred.
Like, there are drivers that sometimes they'll drive like damn near in the other lane, or like tailgating is a thing or whatever. What it is it's things we just don't not we, but cops or whatever, they don't follow through on the things that they probably should. They want the bigger things. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the simple things, like, like littering.
I hate people.
Get a ticket for that.
Yeah, 100%. I hate people who litter too. Like just hold whatever it is.
Goddamn ticket. Like, or tell them to put it in the goddamn trash.
Have you ever seen or heard of a person who got a fine for not picking up their dog shit?
Never.
Never. Those are the things that we should be doing.
People ignore those signs.
That's what I'm saying. But like, it's those things that should be enforced, because like they're just fines and you're not going to get like arrested for it. But if you start doing those, like, that is what helps. But you're right. They go after like the bigger stuff. They want to like catch a fucking drug, like a drug lord or something. It's like, like these small things
maybe we should start going after the freaking people that have the responsibility. We need to hold them accountable. Cops? So if I had a rule,
I think we're focused on them not killing black people first.
I would one of the more important ones.
I think that's why like people are focusing on that with cops.
If you hold a position of responsibility, I don't care what the hell it is. You could be a goddamn manager at Starbucks, but if you hold a position of responsibility and you're not performing all duties that it comes with, you should be locked up for 30 days.
I like that. I actually, you know what, Terrance? That's a fucking fan. I wouldn't even talk about
why not, right? You accepted the role. You accepted the responsibility.
One of my biggest problems with just the way, at least the society we have right now works, is there's no accountability. No one wants to be like, I'm going to hold this person responsible. And you're right. The people who are in charge are the ones supposed to be holding the other people responsible. And no one ever does.
That's all I want.
Like I think I was just talking to you. I don't know if I told you about it. I did. I had an advisor for college who advised me completely wrong for a year. And it's now screwed up. Like, I was supposed to graduate obviously in 4 years. I'm now behind. I need to do winter classes and summer, and I'll still be behind because she had no idea what she was talking about. And when I talked to like her supervisor about it, she was helping me with it. And when I brought this up, she's like, no, we didn't talk about that. And I was like, no. I was like, we do need to talk about this. I'm like, and she's like, no, but it happened. I'm like, I understand it happened. I'm like, but you as her supervisor need to hold her responsible. I'm like, she needs to understand that what she did was wrong and you need to fix it, because she's going to have other students, their future students who are going to get screwed over by her. You need to hold her accountable. I'm not saying fire her, but she needs to be like, hey, you need to do a write-up or whatever you do so that and not only that, she needs to be corrected. Fix the problem
No,
while doing
how
that.
about
And that
this?
way,
I'll take it a step even further. She needs to apologize to you.
well, that for sure. But I wasn't going to
She
sit
needs to
there.
apologize.
But that's something like there.
Hey, I messed up.
She was like hundreds of students. Like there are other students she's going to screw up. And so I think that's a great one. You know, like I think it's a really good one. Like if your job is, if you're a position of power and you're responsible for certain people or things and you don't hold those people accountable or do anything about it, yeah. But what was your fine? A big fine, 30 days in prison, whatever
30
it is.
days, 30 days locked up. I mean, yeah, that or $2,000-$3,000 fine.
It would work though. If you knew that you got $3,000 like for littering, you think people are gonna litter? And people enforced it?
Yeah, even if the people, and that's the thing, right? It's the person's not gonna litter because the people that are in charge of making sure that person doesn't litter will be held responsible as well. So it's an automatic domino effect. It's immediate domino effect. This is how we create change, people. We got to hold each other responsible. This is how we create change for the better, obviously.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any more, like any other like things I would add to this list. Here's one, Terrance. If someone holds a door open, just as not like a doorman, but or a doorman counts too, but more if I hold the door open for you, like I'm just walking into a store, I open up. If you don't say thank you, 2 weeks in prison. Do not just walk past.
That's kind of disrespectful.
Bro, people, I swear to God, people more often than not, or maybe 50-50 will not say anything. And I always go, you're welcome. Like the fuck, man. I don't know how people do that.
You're not here just to hold the door for you.
Yeah, I'm not hired by the store. I'm walking in with you. I'm 2 feet in front of you. I'm holding it back because you're standing there. Or sometimes, like I'll see someone directly behind me. I'll open up and let them go first. Like that's double politeness. You better fucking say thank you. Okay. If you don't, I just want to knock someone out when they do that. It's like you say, it's so disrespectful. Like, I am doing you a kindness that I don't have to do. Just a simple thank you in return. And I don't know how people don't do that. I don't know how you don't feel like the biggest asshole in the world just walk right past somebody. Like, anyway. All right, Terrance. So our somewhat serious topic now, it is serious actually. I was telling you something about before pre-show. I want to talk about toxic masculinity. Now, toxic masculinity, as I've heard it, and I've done I did a paper on this, I think. It's basically how
really quick while you do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, it's got the official definition, I suppose, but as far as I know what it is, it's men who do like stupid things to be like aggressive or angry or to be like in charge in scenarios, or just do things that are like men are told, our whole lives are told, like, you need to be the one to kiss the girl, you need to be the one to ask her out, like, don't be a baby, do it. And so as a result, I think too many men have been like hyper aggressive and all sorts of things. So let's see what the definition is. Okay. A set of attitudes and ways of behaving stereotypically associated with or expected of men, regardless having a negative impact on men and on society as a whole. So I'll give you the example of what just happened.
I was about to say, you got to give them an example.
What kickstarted this? So this could be anything, right? Like if there's a lot of examples. I'll give you what just happened with me. I have a group chat. I think everyone has like some random group chats in their lives. And there is like 5 or 6 people in this with me, and they're all from a job I had back in 2015, 2016. And it started off because there was me and 2 other guys started doing DraftKings, because you got me into DraftKings. I started doing it. So we made a little chat about it. And then eventually a few people got added to it. And as time went on, it became mostly about like basketball and just shit talk and just us messing around. That's basically what it always is.
Mm-hmm.
So as you heard last week, when Kevin Durant resigned to the Nets, I sent in the group chat like a message, like a negative message towards him, because this specific guy in this group chat like hates Kevin Durant. I was talking all this shit during the postseason about Kevin Durant's lame and listen, I get talked on. People talk shit to me on this chat more than anybody. I swear. I think it's because I don't know. Anyway, so I basically am like, fuck you. Like, we just signed him. He gets all upset and pissed off about it, gets furious about it. Okay. And like, he's like, next time I'm in New York, I'm going to fucking fight, blah, blah. I text me your address. And I was like, are you serious, bro? Like, first off, it is not that serious. And second off, but that is an example of toxic masculinity. Like, he immediately wants to fight me. He wants to fight me because I talked him shit, even though 2 days ago he went on a tirade about how I knew nothing about basketball and I don't watch games and I'm a fucking idiot. But then I say something to him.
Just to break the moment down. So, because everybody may not know exactly what toxic masculinity is. So just to break the moment down, the toxic masculinity part of that moment that Joe was in comes from the other guy being overly aggressive for no apparent reason, right? And it's a sign of him trying to be like, I'm tougher than you.
Exactly. That's exactly right. It's the tough thing. Or another example of toxic masculinity is when, like, let's say a guy approaches a woman and maybe tries to say something to her and she's just like, no, I'm not interested. A guy who keeps going.
Well, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, both are good examples. Yes, someone's like, "Fuck you, you're ugly anyway," right? Just being aggressive and rude for no reason, or it's like not stopping and like keep going with, or maybe the worst thing is like actually touching her or like trying to like that is toxic masculinity. It's where guys
feeling like you're entitled as well.
Yes, and it's kind of like me and you said a while back, actually, a few episodes, like 10 episodes ago, 12 episodes ago in April, when I said, oh, it's our friendship anniversary. And I was like, oh, I love you, man. And you were like, oh, I love you too. And you were like, a lot of guys don't do that. That's also a thing, like trying to not be sensitive to anything, like where you're just like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm not saying I love you. Fuck that. It's like this tough guy bullshit.
Yeah. And then a lot of times it comes off as like, you're like, oh, I'm not gay. You're gay for that. Is also, we got to realize this too. Grow the fuck up. Like literally just
that's what I said in the chat.
Up.
I was like, this is childish shit. What text me where you live, bro? What? We're not fucking 10 years old. We want to fight someone. Like we're no, like that to me, like him getting offended like that much. Like if he was upset, he could have said something. But him get a flip out, want to fight. It's like, what?
What are the reasons for you? What are the reasons
to prove how tough he is? Right?
What are the reasons to fight once you get past, like, I would say 25, 26?
There's never really a reason to fight. Like when you're younger, I know, like people, like I never really got into fights when I was growing up or ever. But when you're younger, you just kind of dumber. But like,
you're right.
Once you become an adult, you really should like. It's sad, but like
25, you should have a job. You should have responsibilities. You should have things that are more important, right? So I would say this: the reasons of fighting, right? If as a man, I can't speak for women.
To defend somebody, I think would be
to defend
like if
yourself
someone, or your family,
or
friends,
someone you're with, or whatever, like that, right?
I agree. I think
9 times out of 10, it should only come from
if someone jumped you and I was there, I would fight to help you. If someone wants to hurt your family, Corey, your son or anything, yes, that's a reason to fight.
Defense.
But if someone's so this also brought up not only toxic masculinity, but something I said pre-show. It was like if someone says something to you and they can provoke reactions, whatever that reaction is, they control you, and they're controlling you with words. Never let anyone control you with words. I understand if there are things that can offend you, but if someone just can say something to you and it can provoke you to want to fight them, or you get angry, or you get whatever, they're controlling you. You got to understand, like, don't let people control you with words. Words mean nothing. I understand.
I'll put it like this: you got it. If it means that much to you for me to be scared, I'm scared.
It's like, okay. I said the same thing. Someone's like, oh, because I can beat your ass. It's like, yeah, okay, you can. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
You probably can, because
if it means
I don't get into fights, and you probably do, because that's important to you. So yeah, you're probably right. You probably could beat me up. I don't care. Like I live in the adult world where like this means nothing.
Got it. It doesn't matter. Now here's the thing though. You're not going to test me. It's up to you if you want to test me, right? Because it gets to a certain point where I'm not going to let you get in my personal space.
Well, no, I mean, someone's like pushing.
I'm not going to let you get in my personal space and all like that or whatever. Like there's boundaries, there's limits.
Well, if someone's literally in your face, I'm like, bro, you gotta.
There's boundaries and limits to this. But you talking through. First of all, I always had this rule. I'm a grown man. I ain't arguing with another man. I'm never happening. I'm
hate
not arguing
arguing.
Nobody that's not my girl.
Yes.
I refuse to.
She's the only one who deserves that attention.
I refuse to argue with anyone that is not my girl. I'm just not going to do it. You're not going to get that much from me, because why would I do this with her, and then I got to do this with you. Like, just
you know what it is. You know what it is, though, Terrance. Especially in this modern world, like arguing, like it never ever leads to anything, right? Because it depends on what it is. But more often than not, if you're arguing with somebody, like they have their view, you have yours, it's not going to change.
And it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah, like I hate arguing with anybody, and so I don't want to argue. Like, so if someone wants to get like, if they just want to start saying shit, it's like, all right, dude, like I don't care. Like I just don't care. At the end of the day, it means nothing. If you win or lose, quote unquote, an argument, at the end of the day, it actually means nothing because nothing was solved. Mm-hmm. And like this guy, I haven't seen this dude in 5+ years. I only know him through his chat at this point. Like we just go on there, we talk about basketball, we talk whatever, and everyone loves to make fun of me. Everyone loves to make fun of everybody. But now he wants to get all pissy because he got hurt about that. And that's another example of toxic masculinity is like when someone's like, man up, don't cry, man up. You know, it's like that's part of it. Like it's not one to express feelings it's other than anger, really.
It's okay to cry.
Yeah,
like it is okay to cry.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like this whole situation was just annoying to me because it was like we talk all this shit. You guys talk all this shit at me, and you want to get upset because that specific, even if that specific thing I said maybe was more offensive to you for whatever reason, just say it. Or just let it roll off your back because it means nothing. It's two people who I'm never gonna see you, never gonna see me. Who cares? Like, you know, like toxic masculinity as a whole is bad. And there's a lot that we can go over toxic masculinity. It might take us hours and hours, but in general,
we looked this up as well. It says just a few traits of toxic masculinity includes mental and physical toughness, aggression,
like having to have that kind of toughness, quote unquote.
Right. Stoicism.
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 To be fair, I consider myself I try to be a bit of a stoic, but not for. I think I display a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
It's more for like when it comes to certain decisions, is how I do it. So I shouldn't say that.
Heterosexism or discrimination against people who aren't
And
heterosexual.
I think that's part of what this was.
That's just stupidity.
But I think that's part of what it was. I think he took it in a way of like that. People. I don't know why that shouldn't be. Yeah, let's keep on going.
Self-sufficiency and emotional insensitivity.
Yeah, it's like it's just that toxic masculinity is. Imagine any meathead you've met in your life. It's that. You know, that guy who like pretends like he doesn't ever cry and doesn't have any emotion. He only loves like sports and he hates everything. Like that guy is toxic.
Hey, I'll let y'all know something real quick. Thugs cry too. Anybody that tells you that they didn't, that's a lie.
Or they repress it, and which is why they're so angry.
Nope. Thugs cry too.
No, what I'm saying is there are a lot of people who repress their emotions. Like I'm not saying you can repress everything, but a lot of people refuse to, like, they don't want to lean into those emotions. And so as a result, that's why they get so angry, because their emotions are all fucked up and all they have is like, it becomes all anger because they're not letting like the sadness and stuff out. You know, so that's part of it. That's why like you have here, like being violent, being dominant, right? Like aggression towards women, like that is where it like comes from. It's because you're just not letting
the sexual aggression towards women thing.
Like if you approach a woman and she's not interested, you need to walk away. It's not anything to do with you anymore.
We still haven't gotten to that place yet, and I don't know why. Like
why men don't just if a woman's not interested.
How even after the whole Me Too movement and not saying after, because Me Too movement is still going on. But
after it started, I guess.
After it started more so, we still haven't gotten to the place where men are respecting women's boundaries.
It's weird, man. It's weird.
Like, and it baffles me because
it baffles me too. Yeah, it's
it really does, like, bro. Because as somebody that's now in a relationship, now I'm watching like guys' behavior, right? As I'm, out with my girl and everything like that. So like a lot of times we'll go hang out at a bar or whatever. So I'm watching other men behavior around women, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this looks fucking creepy. It just looks creepy. Like I see y'all in a corner literally plotting on her like hyenas. I'm pretty sure she sees that as well.
Yeah, she does. And that's the thing, man. Like, listen, I understand. Let's say Let's say you approach a woman at a bar or some situation, and she pretty quickly is like, "No, I'm not interested." I understand you wanted to be like, but she doesn't really know me, and maybe she probably doesn't. But she said she's not interested.
But it's all in the approach as well.
But also, like, even if it's not fair to you, maybe she really just doesn't. Like, she just shut you down and doesn't get to know you at all.
Or she probably doesn't have a goddamn drink by herself and enjoy her goddamn night.
Whether she cares, whether she's wrong and she doesn't actually know you at all, it doesn't matter. She just doesn't want to talk to you. So just move on. Women
don't need our company.
No, they don't.
They
And
don't.
You know what's crazy
We
though,
are our company.
to me, Terrance? Like personally, if I start talking to a woman and she's not like interested, I'm not interested. Even if I think she's like gorgeous, I don't want to like convince a woman to be with me. Like if she's not interested in me in some capacity, then that's it. I don't care.
It's
Yeah.
either it's I can't say I'm that easily off. I'm probably
Which
I'll
just
probably
depends. I
give
mean,
it
if
another
you,
I'll probably give
I'm
it
not saying like if you
another
go up and like
shot, you
a
know.
1 minute conversation, you're like, I don't think she's into it. But if you're talking and like maybe you try to like, you try to like, can I buy you a drink? She's like, no, no, no. Or you try to like do a few things like, oh, let me get your number. She's like, no, no. If you kind of, you're like, well, she's not into it. Like, all right, like it's
Right.
even if she didn't tell you to go away, I'd be like, she's not interested in me. So why am I going to keep? I'm not trying. I don't want to
And then
convince
see
her
me
of that. Like,
and me when I was single, I was one of those guys that I would buy a drink for you and not even say nothing to you, because if you're interested, then maybe we could have a conversation. But if not, okay, maybe I just spent $12 on a drink just
nothing.
so you could have a drink.
That's your risk. That's where she took. Right?
That's the risk. But I'd much rather have that risk than for me to go over to you and you not be in the mood and I'd be like, oh, well, I just bought you a drink or whatever.
Yeah,
like so
she doesn't owe you anything. She didn't say, "Hey, buy me a drink," and then walk away from you. In that case, you got played, I guess. But you can be upset, but you can't take it out on her. But
you can't do nothing still.
No, you can't. You got played. But you know what it is, man. It is. I thought we talked about like early when the show started, like maybe one of the first episodes. I was like, I never buy women drinks, and it's because part of it is like I don't really want to take that risk, but also like. I don't know. It feels weird to me to be like, let me approach this woman and buy her a drink so she'll talk to me for a few minutes and hopefully she'll like me. That feels really, and I know a lot of people do. I'm not like talking down to it, but I feel uncomfortable doing it. Like I don't know. But the point with this is like men need to stop trying to act tough. Like it doesn't matter. Like we don't live in caveman times. You need to like actually like fight off a fucking but war or something like to defend your honor, or like a sword. You have a sword. It doesn't matter, man.
Let me
you don't need it like. But you know what I'm saying? Even if you are like in great shape and you're tough, whatever, like you don't need to try to like prove this.
No,
shit.
yeah.
Like,
let me get this across. Let me get this across too. Right.
Shoot.
I never been the most muscular dude in my life and everything like that. Right.
Right.
But the one thing that I always got when I walked into any room was respect. And it wasn't because I came in there and tried to be tough and bully everybody and
demand
everything
it, right?
like that, right? It's more so about your presence and how you carry yourself, right? How I carry myself, I demand respect, but I demand it in a way where I'm not trying to push nobody over. I'm not trying to insult people. Like there's ways to go about it, right? So if I respect you, then you should respect me. Right. So that's the only thing I'm looking for.
That's the kind of way to demand respect, right? Not like aggressive and mean to demand it, but just the way you carry yourself.
Nothing to do with being the tough guy and everything like that.
A lot of people believe it does.
It don't got nothing to do with that. But one thing you're not going to do is you're not going to test me and you're not going to play me, but you are going to respect me because I'm going to respect you. So as I present myself, you're gonna give me the same. That's the do unto others as you would like done unto you.
And that's a great way to describe it. I think like you show your respect just naturally as you go, so people do the same thing to you, and that's the way it should be. And that's the two part to this whole toxic masculinity thing is don't let like words control you, especially if let's say you get into some minor altercation with somebody, like they say something, you cut them in line, something like that, right? Once you know that they're mad at you and they're trying to get a rise out of you, don't do it. Like at that point, they're then going to try to control you with their words by trying to provoke you. Just ignore it. Like it doesn't mean anything. Like it doesn't. If someone's like making fun of you or whatever, like it can be anything. Like it's just words. Like who you are. You have the people in your life who care and love you. That's their opinion's most important. It's just don't let words control you. It's like if I could leave this topic with anything, it's don't let words control you because it makes you weak, right? Like if I can go to Terrance and just say one thing and just make him fly into a rage, then I have control over Terrance now. Anytime I want, I can just be like, well, let me make Terrance get angry. Yeah, don't do that. And I wouldn't do it to Terrance. Obviously, you're my closest friends, but I'm saying it's like anybody.
It takes a lot to crack me.
Yeah, I've never really seen you like really angry. I've seen you like angry about like
to crack me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, just don't let people control you with words. Like, even if someone insults you, whatever that is, even if it's a racial or whatever it is, it just doesn't matter, right? Like they're just people talking, that's why like on the internet, like it's all just nonsense because it's just people talking because they know there's no repercussions. That's why it's like, just don't let people control you with words. Don't let someone say, oh, you're fucking ugly. And, I fucked your mother, blah, blah. Like it just doesn't mean anything. I could say that about anybody. It doesn't change anything in life. Yeah, I could say right now, I slept with Joe Biden's mother. Does it change anything? No, because Joe Biden doesn't give a shit. And it means it's words,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, for all the men listening, stop being toxic. You don't need to be tough. Just be, what the toughest thing is taking care of your business, providing for your family, getting a job, being a respectful human being, not like don't litter, don't bother people, just being a good person. That's the toughest shit out there. That's the most metal shit out there.
That is a fact, Joe. That deserves a round of applause because that was a gem.
I mean that's what you that's what you are, Terrance.
The toughest thing is handling your business.
But that's what I respect about you, Terrance. Like you have a son, you have a someday wife. Don't know when specifically, but someday, of course, you're gonna get married to her. Soon come. Yeah, you're already moving in. You have a job. I think you're gonna get a new job potentially. You're already looking at like. That is what's tough, man. You handling your life and handling your things. You pay your bills. You don't bother. You're not bothering anybody. You're not causing anyone harm. You living your life, man. That's like the way everyone should.
Why, man? Time is not guaranteed.
No,
we just don't.
A plane could fall out of the sky on you right now.
We just literally don't know. Like we take for granted crossing the street. We take for granted, walking down the block. You literally just don't know. So
we all would love to live to 80, but maybe we won't. Bernie Mac, famous millionaire,
absolutely
died at 50 years old.
Absolutely, And I would rather spend my days because I don't know if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I would rather spend my days not trying to prove a point to nobody else.
It's so funny you said that like, too, though, because in this chat, I said something similar. I was like, there was too much shit going on in the world for me to care, for like any of us to be caring about this random shit talk we're doing. Like it's shit talk for fun. And then we forget about it 6 minutes later, like for you to get that upset and all of this, and then me having to sit there and like talk to the other guys about it. I'm like, this is, bro, anything. There's so many more important things I need to be doing in my life. Like this is not one of those things I need. Even if I had nothing to do, this wouldn't be one of the things I want to use it on.
Even if I had nothing to do, I just started
up Red Dead Redemption 2. I'd rather play that than get into a dumb argument about nothing. But anyway, Terrance, I believe you have a little topic for us.
I had a moment last week or maybe like 2 weeks ago, right? And I thought it was pretty interesting, and I was like, oh, I gotta bring this up on the show. So you ever you know about the nod, right? The head nod.
Well, you put your chin, it goes up a little bit.
Yeah. You see somebody or whatever. It's like the what's up, the head nod or whatever.
That's like a thing that I feel like all guys just inherit when they're like. When I was like, I remember being in like middle school and that being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And many of my friends being like, "What?" That's just like we all just knew. It's like a thing we all just knew. You just do the head thing. What's up?
So there's a thing that Black people have when it comes to the head nod.
Okay.
Right. So I had to go into an office meeting a couple of weeks ago. It was a corporate office meeting, right? So I go in, it's nothing but white people.
Oh, God.
Nothing but white people.
That's always depressing when that happens.
But then there's one Black guy, and he's sitting at a desk, and he sees me, and I see him, and then we both look at each other, and we give each other the nod.
Same nod.
And we give each other the nod. The what's up? What's up? And in just that moment, what we said was, "You're Black. You're here. Nice. That's what's up. I'm happy to see you here. I don't know what you're doing. I don't care, but I'm happy to see you here.
Happy to see an ally, right?
That's what that was. And I was like, huh, white people don't have that.
Not in the same way, but it's something we talked about.
But that moment of, oh, I'm not alone right now.
But you know what? It's something we talked about. Like I remember you saying, like, you said, like, oh, like, what is like white culture? And I was like, well, there is none. And you're like, oh, it's sad. But the thing about the quote unquote no white culture is because Black culture it exists because it was born out of necessity, right? Like slaves were brought over here, and then and then eventually people were freed, and then civil rights movement, all that. But Black people have created their own culture because they were stuck in this bad situation themselves. Whereas
had to make a way out of no way.
Right. And so as a result, there's that shared thing. Whereas white people, that doesn't exist. Like it's like I'm Italian American. I love my Italian heritage, and I hold very strongly about that. Like I with cooking and with just who I am and how I speak. That's important to me.
Proud people.
Yeah, for sure. I think most races are. So that's why like there's no white culture, but there's Italian culture. If I meet someone who's Italian, there's no nod as far as I know, but there definitely is like, oh, your name is Giuseppe. Because that's when they know. Wait a minute.
There's that strong, I remember I ordered that bond out of nowhere.
Yeah, and like I said,
we come from the same thing.
There's something about, I think for Black people, it's probably a little more of like I'm surrounded by not the enemy, but like just white people. But I have an ally. There is something about that it's not the same.
And Joe, I've worked in when I was working at Barclays, as a manager, I was one of the only Black managers there for a long time, Black male managers there for a long time. And then my boy Jared got hired. He was from Philly, and he came over and he started working there, whatever. Me and him are still friends to this day. But it's that moment of, I'm not alone anymore.
Yeah.
It's a feeling that I never really
recognized or like
until that day, and I was like, holy shit.
And that's the thing. I think Black culture is a specific, only you have that. Maybe in other countries there's other races, I don't know, but I think like Black culture shares that, whereas like it's not the same with Italian, but there is like you're Italian, me too. That's, you have that, like you probably grew up eating like pasta and meatballs a lot. It's very I mean, you kidding me with like, it's very common. You probably grew up with like your grandmother's probably pretty similar, like an old country. Like we probably have those similarities. Like I remember I ordered, there's this place I used to order from when I was at the Runaways, Italian place. And they were like straight up Italian. Like a lot of the delivery drivers are often Italian. And of course, my name is Giuseppe, which is like a very Italian name. And so I remember one time the guy came up and he was like, Giuseppe, right? And I was like, yeah, Giuseppe. He was like, you're Italian? And I was like, yeah, of course. And he was like, man, he was like, and I was like in his 50s. He was like, he's like, there's two types of people in this world. My dad used to say there's two types of people in this world: Italians and people who wish they were Italian. And I was like, absolutely, man, absolutely. Like, and it was just that little thing we shared because like, we're all Italian, like we're in on the joke almost. Like, so.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's good. It's good to have that bond, right?
It is nice.
I love seeing that, and it was a moment, like I said, it was a moment that I really never acknowledged. It was just always kind of a thing.
It is interesting to bring it up though, like, because like I said, I'm thinking about the Italian thing. Older, I never thought about that.
It's as you get older, you start to see these things and realize that, all your life, I remember doing internships and being the only Black kid. And so it's uncomfortable to be the only one sometimes.
Yeah, listen, like in this group chat, I'm the only white guy. It's all Black people, and that's probably why I get made fun of more. Because
it's not like you don't want. It's not like you're just gonna be like shy away from it. But sometimes it is. It's a little uncomfortable.
I think it's
because you can't always relate.
It's something ingrained in us that like there are things that we consider us, like I Italian American is, it's who I am. Like you look at yourself as like Black Jamaican American, right? Like it's ingrained in you. So there's something about like that familiarity that I think it's a very human thing, I assume at least, of like having that familiarity, and it just, I don't know, there's like a positive response to that, but yeah, like I said, I never really thought about it. You bring it up now, it does. Like I said, I didn't even like that Italian thing. The story. I never really thought about that, but that's what it is. Like, oh, you're Italian. Like, I don't meet many Italian people, man, especially women. I don't think I've met an Italian woman outside of my family ever. I thought I had one roommate who was Italian, but I never meet Italian women. Where are they, Terrance? Don't know. Terrance, is there, this might sound like a weird question. Is there a right and wrong way to enjoy something? Like if you enjoy it, can it be considered right or wrong? So this is how I'll kind of give you some examples, right? Let's say like a movie, right? Like the writer, director, they create this movie. It's meant to be viewed. You put it on, you watch the whole thing in theaters, ideally, right? That's like the ideal thing. That's what they want you to do. Pay attention to the characters and the stories and everything, right? Now, if you put these films on and all you do is make fun of them, but you enjoy it, is that wrong? Are you enjoying it wrong? That's not what the creators intended.
I give you a perfect example with that.
Hit me.
I do that with horror movies.
Classic, right? People love making fun of horror movies.
I do that with horror movies, and
Or
it started from because I was scared of them.
so it's like a defense mechanism almost to like get you through it.
It started from me being scared of scary movies as a kid, and I was always just scared of them.
Makes sense.
But
Make fun.
then once I started looking at the stupidity of what's happening, and I can't really say it's stupidity, like it's a horror movie. But when you start making
when you start to realize it's a movie, though,
yeah, when you start to realize
it's
this movie,
it's just
look
cameras
at like,
and fake blood.
this couldn't happen, like that's stupid. Why didn't she run left instead of running right?
Right.
Yeah, like is things like that or whatever. So yeah.
So I
still do it to this day. I'm not scared of it, but I do it to this day still.
Sure you aren't. I'll give you a second example. So, and you would know this, but I think most people not. A lot of people might not. So, if you're playing video games, Xbox, PlayStation, or even on the phone, there's always some sort of an achievement system. Like you obviously know trophies, Terrance.
Mm-hmm.
So even on like the iOS has this. So if you're ever playing a game, there's things like that the PlayStation or the Xbox or the iPhone or even I'm sure Google Play has this, where like if you do things in game, little achievements pop up and like, oh, you've beat this boss, so you died 5 times, whatever it is, there's achievements. Now, I personally really like trophies for PlayStation. Like if I'm playing a game, I do try to get them as I can, and like if you get all of them in a game, you get a platinum, like a little, it means nothing. It means nothing, but I still like it. I don't know why.
Right.
Now there are people, a good amount of people in the world who only play games for these achievements and trophies. Like they don't really care about the game. They're trying to get as many trophies as they can. That's all they do. That's not what the people who made the game really don't give a shit about trophies. They have to put them in because Sony and Microsoft and all them tell them to.
Yeah, but once you as a consumer make a purchase of anything, however you choose to enjoy that item, product, or whatever, is completely your choice of decision.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So do you think that, not even from like a purchase standpoint, but do you think it's like, is it wrong? Is it fine? Is it like,
there's no
you think it's everything, if you're having fun, as long as you don't hurt anybody,
yeah, it's literally up to you. Like there's no rule on how.
So let's say you made an album, you made like a rap album,
one of the dopest albums ever, the greatest.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? But then you know that some people start, apparently for whatever reason it calms dogs down, so they start buying it when they leave the house. They put it on repeat, and it just makes dogs chill. Would you be like, well, that's not, for dogs. Point was for, like with that, or is that like, well, it's whatever. Like it's not, I'm not talking about the money.
Being
like,
a marketing genius, I would literally just be like,
so you are a marketing genius. Wow.
What we're gonna do
highly of
yourself. We're gonna take our album to the animal shelters to help the dogs there.
No, but what I'm saying, listen, you're thinking too much marketing. I'm not saying in terms of money. I'm saying, is it wrong?
I know.
Would you feel some type of way that
you're
the thing you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, dogs are listening to you calm them for no reason?
I mean, here's the thing. As a creator, yeah, probably. I'd probably be a little bit like, well, what? That means y'all not even
all that work. You're like,
yeah, you know
dogs,
what I mean?
Huh?
Like,
human beings they come in and turn it off.
one of the best things I heard, I was interning at a music label, and one of the heads.
Did you intern at a music label?
Yeah, it was slight. It was very, very slight.
When you knew me or before?
Yeah. Well,
pre-Giuseppe or post-Giuseppe?
Post-Giuseppe, pre-Giuseppe. Yeah. We knew each other, but
I remember this.
we I had a meeting, and one of the label heads said, once you can do all this work, all of this recording, putting everything together, have this idea for it, this, and this, and this, and this. Once you put it out, it is no longer in your hands. It is up to people to decide what they want to do, whether they like it, whether they hate it, what they want to do. It is no longer in your hands. All of the work you've done does not matter once you put it out.
It's true.
Is crazy to think about that, but as a creator, yeah, artists like painters and stuff, they put stuff out and be like, oh, I did this because it made me feel like this, and this is what I got from it. And somebody buys it and be like, I like it because it got dogs in it.
Yeah,
that's why I purchased it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so is there anything you do like this that you're like, well, I kind of feel bad, like I bought, I watched this just to make, like this director sucks, I only watch the movies, I make fun of them. Like, do you feel bad, or is it like, no, it doesn't really matter, right? Like,
no,
you're getting enjoyment from it, so that's what the whole point of a film is, right? It's enjoyment.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Because obviously the person who makes whatever puts a lot of work into it. So, you always want to be respectable of that as well. But
yeah, I would say make fun of them and like stream that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind of
no,
mean.
as a consumer, right?
Just me
Because
and you hanging out.
yeah, at the end of the day, we're all consumers of
Oh yeah.
anything.
Unless you live in a log cabin and you hunt your own food and make your own
Right,
clothes, you're consuming
we're all
something.
consumers. So as a consumer, once you literally exchange currency for something, you now own it. So you can literally say, I bought this just to throw it away. The person that created it probably is gonna be like, well, that's a fucked up thing to do.
Yeah, I think about it because I know sometimes like with trophies or something like an achievement in the game, people are like, wow, you don't even care what the gamers play. Like you're playing for the trophy. Like, it's not like the way it's supposed to be played. Like you hear that sometimes, right?
Yeah, but you can't tell me you can't tell me how to do what I want to do.
Well, I think that's why I mean, like if you're getting enjoyment out of it, I think it's fine. Like if you're doing it because you have some compulsion, that's wrong. But like if you like playing video games specifically for the trophies, and that is why I like to play them, then I think you should do that. Like you're not enjoying it the way that people who made it intended, again, but you're still enjoying it.
You can't tell me how to enjoy something.
Yeah.
You can't tell me how not to enjoy something.
I mean, you can't have pineapple on pizza. You can't enjoy pizza that way. But everything else, I agree with.
Chicken and pineapple is not bad.
I'm kidding. As an Italian, I can't approve of it.
Yeah,
but...
I know.
I do. I think that like I know as people we say stuff like that, like, oh, you can't enjoy that, that way. You can't do that way. But like, I think that really whatever it is, as long as you are enjoying it, you're fine. Like if you're not hurting anybody. Like if you're using a screwdriver to kill people, I'd say, nope, that's wrong. But if you're just using a screwdriver to, I don't know, flip around a pancake somehow, I'd say, well, I mean, if it works for you. I don't know how you do that with a pancake. That'd be actually pretty impressive. But so, all right, Terrance, we always end every show with a hypothetical, of course.
Let's go.
Terrance,
you didn't have one last week.
No, I didn't. We were too hyped up on that Kevin Durant news, it was just... I forgot we were even doing a show for half of it, like if you haven't listened to that episode, ladies and gentlemen, it's a good episode last week. We heard live that Kevin Durant was re-signing with the Nets to a 4-year extension.
Caught the Woj bomb.
A Woj bomb blew up the show. Let's just say that.
Caught it.
All right, Terrance. So here's my question to you. It's a little bit serious, actually. So I do not want kids, don't have kids, don't want them. I don't plan on having any kids. You have a kid and I'm planning on having more. So let's say you found out you could not have kids. Like you and Corey wasn't happening.
God forbid.
God forbid, knock on wood. You couldn't do that. What would you do? Do you think you'd still try to adopt? Would you try to do like a surrogacy or something? Or would you just go, well?
It's tough. I mean, that'd be a conversation with my wife and trying to figure out, what the best route would be for us, because there's people that have to deal with that, right? There are people that have to try, to have children and they're not able to do so,
just watched a movie about that. Actually, it was pretty hard to watch. Well, yeah, it's a good movie called Private Life on Netflix. Watch it.
Check it out.
Private Life. It's Paul Giamatti. But basically, got this couple they're older. They're like in their, I think, late 30s, early 40s. No, they're in their 40s actually, and they're trying to adopt at the same time. They're trying to do whatever it is women can do, like IVF or something, something like that. Trying to do that, and then they try to do surrogacy, and it's an indie film, so it's very dramedy essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got me thinking, like, because a lot of people really want kids, but it's important to them. Like some people say, like, no, I don't want someone else's baby, or I want this. It just depends on the person. I don't think there's any right or wrong decision, but it's tough, to have to make that decision. Like I think it doesn't. If you want a kid,
it's a tough choice. But I think first of all, blessings to everybody that's trying to have children, and maybe struggling to get that route. And
that's one reason. That's one reason, by the way, Terrance, that you bring that up. That's one reason. Don't ask people when they're going to have kids, or don't make like the April Fool's, like, I'm pregnant, just kidding. Because there are people out there, and you probably don't know because it's not going to really tell you about it.
Funny.
They're trying to have kids and can't. So you don't want.
It's not funny.
That's the thing. Like, stop with those kind of jokes. And also, I think just stop asking people when they want kids, because I don't want kids, right? So it's annoying. But what if, a couple can't? They're trying and they're struggling. Like you
Well, Joe,
don't.
what if you meet someone that does want to have kids?
Who wants kids?
Yeah, somebody that you fall in love with and you want to be with them.
I mean, it's an early question of like a relationship. Like you have to ask them like what do they want, if they want to get married.
It is,
you want to ask them
it is an early question.
Yeah.
People don't realize that
No.
is damn near first 3 date question.
People's feelings on sex, people's feelings on marriage, and people's feelings on kids, and I would even say a general idea where they want to live. Like if someone's like
first, second, or third date question.
It's somewhere early like that. I mean, I don't know if it's specific like a number, but I definitely like within the first couple of times you were hanging out with them, like
I'd say more so like
before,
the second, third.
Yeah, before things start to get like any sort of serious. So if you, I don't know, 3 weeks maybe, it depends how much you see them, but you have to have those questions. Like if someone's like, oh, I really want to, I'm originally from Russia and I want to move back. That's important to know. Do you want to move to Russia? Because if you don't, or any country, like those 4 things where they generally want, if they want to move somewhere specifically where they want to live is important. But then the marriage, kids, and what was the other one I said? Marriage, kids, and
finances.
I just said it. How do I forget? Anyway, if I met someone, I would ask them early on. Like if they said they really wanted kids, then I'd be like, well, I don't. So, like it'd be like, this is not, maybe we can hang out a little bit, but it's not going to be a long-term relationship. It's unfortunate, man. I have thought about that. It will be somewhat hard for me to find like the one, because I need someone who doesn't want kids and is at least, I just need someone who's okay with the veganism thing, like who understands it and doesn't put it down, obviously, since it's how I live. So yeah, and they got to be, we have to find each other attractive and be able to get along with it well. So
yeah,
it's not easy. It's not an uphill battle for me, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, I think eventually you'll find and figure out what works for you.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing is the kids thing. And a lot of people want kids, and a lot of women, I think, want kids. It's very, very common. So it definitely has to be. That's the biggest thing I think. It's gonna be hard to find. Like someone doesn't want kids, but I was with one previously, so it's not impossible.
Yeah, anything's possible.
But anyway, Terrance, before we leave, of course, if you would like to reach out to the show and let us know some thoughts or feelings, or if you anything really, email us, needisaymorepod@gmail.com. Of course, we have a Twitter and a Instagram @needisaymorepod. That's it for me, Terrance. You got anything else?
No, man. This has been an interesting one. I like having
serious,
sometimes
more serious
conversations, just kind of like really just shooting the shit. But no, it's been a good one today. And listen, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Need I say more?